Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Start off with a blooper. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ignorance is Bliss. We are live today with a very, very special guest. We actually have another hustler in the building, and I can atone to that personally, as I've seen his journey, and I know that his journey will go a lot further. But just to straight up get into it. Good evening. It's another gloomy day in Jacksonville. Not surprised.
It's afternoon.
Evening,
Yeah.
afternoon. Is it not the same thing?
No.
I'm uneducated, fellas. Ignorance is bliss. But no, just wanted to go ahead and get straight into it. I wanted to go ahead and intro you in here. Fernando, you're a fucking savage, man. And before we started doing this podcast, we kind of fucked up and we were already talking. So I've known you for about three and a half years.
3 years we've been really messing with each other. Probably 5 years since the first time I met you, and then 3 years, being barber friends. So
Yeah. So, and basically where I kind of wanted to start off here, because we're talking about how much of a hustler you are,
Yeah.
and I personally seen that, right? So 3 years ago, you basically were at the shop in Regency,
yeah,
and you're kind of like just doing your own thing. I'm guessing you're just trying to make money. So as far as that goes, man, because obviously you've grown a lot since then, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like I said, you have a lot more growing to do. Did you ever see yourself those 3 years ago where you currently are now?
you always dream about it. You always have that dream, but it's not like you're gonna know exactly where you're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is something definitely that I've set my life. I set goals, and I set the time, and with the hard work that I put in, it came. But I'm not gonna say that I saw it. I always dreamed of it, but didn't really see it.
That seed was always there. So, I mean, I just wanted to just first question, and this is I'm gonna let you open yourself into this one. I kind of just want you to talk to the audience and talk about yourself, like just who you are as a person, aspirations, all that good stuff.
Well, as everybody knows, my name is Fernando Corps. I'm just a regular kid from Fajardo, Puerto Rico. I came here when I was about 13 years old. I think it was in 2009. And the way that I became who I became goes way back to 2009, and it really all happened because I was in need of something. At that moment, I had a single mother, and she was taking care of me and my little brother, and we couldn't get haircuts. So one time I went to the bathroom, I saw a Conair clipper that my grandfather had left when he died, and that Conair clipper was my first clipper. My toilet was my first barber chair, and my brother was my first client. At first I didn't think I was gonna be a barber.
Right.
I didn't really know what I wanted to be. I mean, at that time, all I was thinking it was about basketball. But then, as time took off, I started getting better and cutting hair, and started caring less about basketball. Because basketball is a thing you got to put time into. So, once I started seeing people that they were interested into getting haircuts with me, and they were paying me, $5, $10, I started letting my neighbors and stuff come get haircuts. I started cutting my cousins and stuff, and I would say at the age of 15, somebody saw that talent in me that I didn't see in myself. And that first person that gave me a chance to work in a barbershop was a guy called Junito at the time. So I started working at 15 years old. I think I was in 10th grade and working at a barbershop. And I feel like once I started seeing that, I got the feeling of it. I was like, yeah, I definitely want to be a barber. Then when I became a barber, well, my mom told me, hey, if you want to do this, let's do it the right way. Let's get you to school. Because my mom knew I didn't like school. I knew I wasn't going to college. So my mom was like, well, become a barber. If you do it right, you can make a lot of money. And, with the hard effort of my parents, my dad and my mom, and, I became a barber at the age of 18. I got my license, my barber's license. I remember I took my state board exam the same day of my birthday. 18th birthday, and I passed it. My mom was super
a birthday
happy.
present, right?
Yeah, so that was probably one of the best birthday presents right there. And I guess the way that I got up here was right when I was 18. A couple of months later, my mom passed. My mom passed due to cancer. So that was a really hard moment in my life. My mom was the closest person to me ever. So once he passed, it does two things. It depresses you, but it creates this anger. I would, it's like an anger to where you want to grow, because you go through a situation to where it can't really be explained, So what I did, I kind of messed up in life a lot because I did a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have done, But those are things that helped me be where I'm at today. And then, I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I woke up one day and, I was like, I'm going to move back to Jacksonville because I was living in Columbus, Georgia at the time. My dad was in the military. So my dad went from Korea. The only person I could really stay was my dad.
So were you guys traveling and that's why we were there?
Well, once my mother dies, I went through a whole situation going from here to a friend's house to my uncle's to going to Fort Pierce, living with one uncle, then Fort Pierce, living with my aunt. Then I had to go to Puerto Rico because my dad had just left deployment from Korea. He came back to Puerto Rico. I stayed in Puerto Rico for a couple months. Then from there, I went to Georgia. So it was a lot of moving.
Yeah, I see that.
It was a tough situation. At least for an 18-year-old, you don't know what the heck is going on. Your mother just died. My mom would do communications back home. So you got people from radio station, TVs calling you, and you got to talk about all these things. And you're like, hey, man, I'm only 18, and I got to be talking about this. And all you want to do is just like cry right there.
Yeah, man.
So
I feel did you feel like that's hardened you and made you more of a stronger person?
It does. But the thing about that it's like I was talking to somebody yesterday. Once it hardens you, you have to know how to control that. Because once you go through a situation like that in your life, you tend to forget about a lot of things. I was a good kid, man. I was really sentimental. I was good with people and stuff. And once that happened, I start caring less about situations in my life. And at the same time, that's not good because you still want to be human. Once situations like that in your life happens, you tend to not care too much.
Right. So, you don't want to detach yourself from your feelings.
Yeah, you don't want to lose who you are as a person.
Right.
Because it's like I was telling somebody yesterday, I was feeling like a piece of crap then I felt like when I had money I could feel better. But then when you get money, you're just a piece of crap with money, So,
right.
I mean, if you don't spend time by yourself and actually love yourself and take care of yourself and grow yourself, you're not going to be better with people. Any situation that comes to your life, you're going to take decision, and based on those decisions, you're going to mess up. If you take this decisions in your life based on emotions, you're gonna mess up.
Especially your first emotion.
Exactly. First emotion. For example, I'm gonna give you an example. You're like, oh, I'm sad, whatever, because people don't look at me. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy a car. You don't have much credit. You're spending all this money to buy a car so people could like you because
it's a superficial thing.
You're not likable. And then next thing you know, you can't pay for your car. Your car gets repo. I'm not saying don't get a car.
Right.
Just don't get a car based on an emotion. Know when to get it, know when to do the things, and
know
that's
what car to get.
That's what happens to a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people don't grow.
Yeah.
So
actually, that's very important. I just wanted to, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I actually do want to follow up on that because I feel like a lot of people get lost in other people's opinion. And what people don't realize, and this is subconsciously something that they do, is that a lot of the fancy cars, the fancy houses. Sometimes they do it for like other people just to show off, and I think that's very important. I'm glad that you pointed that out. But go ahead and continue.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. When I started having a shop, I would do things so, I'm doing this, which I was doing it for me, but I wanted to get recognition from someone, and I was like, man, I don't need to get recognition from nobody, and this is what I love to do. I'm just gonna do it. And, if people like it, people is going to come back and give good feedback. Like, like any singer or any actor, they don't get recognitions once they start acting. Like, for example, how long they've been singing and acting until they get that role play, and that role play like takes off, and all of a sudden he became like, you do what you love to do. And if you do what you love to do and you do it the best way you can do it, somebody's gonna notice. Right.
Yeah. A lot of people get lost and they don't really see the background and the hard work. Like I've heard, like anybody who comes to you right now and talks to you, hey, and sees that you're like the owner of your own, of your own building, of your own barbershop. They don't see the hard work
Yeah.
that you had put in before,
Yeah.
all that you've been through, right?
Yeah.
So they only see that lamplight, that spotlight
Yeah.
of that one time that, that one thing that got you out there. So, yeah, that's also very important. I wanted to ask you real quick, because, you worked in Regency,
Yeah.
and then you started working at, what's it called at the time?
It was art of shaving.
Art of shaving.
Yeah.
So, you've obviously been upgrading in your life. So how was that experience switching from, Regency to kind of like a more, I don't want to say prestige.
Personal,
Yeah.
yeah. High end.
Yeah, higher
thing,
end.
yeah.
Like, so how was that? Because I'm going to ask you, I'm going to go through your journey, right? Because I
Yeah.
want to figure out what's been
Yeah.
going, what went through your mind at the point of, just every stepping stone that you had.
Well, before you asked me this, you said something like, people see, you have your own shop and stuff. That's what I
Yeah.
like to call, a lot of people see the glory, but they don't see the story,
Right. Oh, nice. I like that.
And once I worked with art of shaving, I knew I probably wasn't gonna make as much cash money or anything as I was making at a shop, because in the regular shop you make a lot of cash money.
Right.
I knew I was gonna have to be attached to a boss. Like, once you're a barber, you kind of do what you do, and your schedule is a little bit more flexible. With art of shaving, I knew it was gonna change, but what art of shaving taught me was give people an experience, and that's how, if you go to my shop, you see it's urban, but if you still want to get your shave and stuff, you could get that as well. So,
Yeah,
I give people
got
the
the
option.
hot towel,
Hey, you could get this service, which is a little bit cheaper, and it's still going to be a good service, but you're just not going to get that experience,
Right.
And that's how my clientele is. That's what they taught me, working with them was good. You learn how to not only do hot towels, but they train you on how to do facials and everything like that. So,
Right.
that was the best company that I've worked by far, and that's one of my dreams, to build a franchise where people can go and get their shaved and stuff like that. The only reason I'm not doing that right now is because it requires an large amount of money for you to do something like that. That's a different breed. They're owned by Procter and Gamble. If you know Procter and Gamble, they're people that, they're owned by Procter and Gamble, by Gillette. So they got so much money that they can put $250,000 into a build out. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna do something of that caliber, you have to invest so much money, because you got to put,
It takes time, dude.
It takes time.
Not only money, but it's gonna take you time,
Yeah.
right?
So
Obviously you went there and you learned a bunch, right?
Yeah,
You learned a
I
bunch.
learned a lot. Not only they don't only build you to be a good barber or a good shave guy or anything like that. They build you on how to become a salesman, and not only a salesman but a friend. Because you have a chair. You have a lot of people that sit in your chair. You got a lot of different people. You got people that don't like you to talk. You got people that like you to talk. You got people that like that you're crazy. And there's people that want you to be quiet and just shave their face. So you have to learn and understand your clients. That's why a lot of people was like, "Oh, you're crazy. Like, you're funny." And I changed my ways based on my client on my chair. Not every client that comes through the door, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what's up, homie?" Like, not every client is gonna be like, "Hey, how are you, sir?" Like, some clients tell them, "Sir," they feel, "Oh, they don't." I'm just trying to be respectful. So you have to know which guy you're gonna be
Right.
cool like that with, and which guy you're gonna be a little bit more serious with.
Right.
So
and,
that's what they teach you.
and that's how I see this is, you're basically creating a relationship
Yeah.
at that point, because
100%.
obviously all your relationships aren't the same,
Yeah.
right? You're not
Yeah.
going to treat somebody the same way that
Yeah.
you treat somebody else, right? Because you're just on different levels. So that's actually a really neat
Yeah.
perspective. That's made you a better salesman in a sense
Yeah.
when you interact with your clients. That's really neat. So I want to move forward, because obviously you have your own shop,
Yeah.
right? And so that was probably one of your bigger stepping stones
Yeah.
at this point in
It
your
was.
life. So when is it? Because did you decided this when you were at that shop, right?
Well, like I said, we're going back to 2013, 2014. In 2014, I started writing stuff down, because I went through a tough depression, so I would start writing things down. And the thing that I found about writing things down, sometimes in that worst moment, you write things down that you don't notice, And then once you look 5 years later, you accomplish all the stuff you wrote and you didn't even notice them. You know, because sometimes at your worst moment, that's when you find out the best things.
Yeah, and you instill that in your head too.
And it's still in your head. You know, like I was reading something that I wrote in 2014 that I was like, holy crap, I'm doing this now, and I didn't even remember I wrote it. You know, but that was something that I wanted. So I started writing things down. I didn't know how they were gonna happen. I just know I was working hard towards it, and I started writing things down, and it just happened. You know.
That's fucking crazy. Did you have a vision at all of, because you said you dreamed about it, right?
Yeah.
And so we can call a dream a vision, whatever.
I'm not gonna say I really slept and had a dream. Like, you know, it's something that every time I would go
right. Not a dream as in like you had it, like you went to sleep and had it, but it was like a dream that you wanted to accomplish this in life. This is something that you eventually wanted to have in your hands and, you know, kind of like be part of you, right?
Like, for example, every time I go to Panera Bread or Starbucks, you know, you sit down and you look at why does Starbucks sell such an expensive coffee?
All right.
Like, you know, but it's the product and the experience that they give.
It's the brand too,
you know,
man.
it's the brand.
Yeah.
You go to Panera, like their sandwiches are a lot more expensive. So I would think about this. I'm like, man, what can I do to become a better barber to where I could raise my prices and people would still come to me, and these are things that I would write down and I would dream. You know, I need to do this type of shop. I need to, and my shop is exactly what I dream, and I actually have them written down instead. Like, you know, like you could go. This is one reason I brought this. You know, these are like certificates that I brought. Like you know, we're gonna talk about this later. My show that I'm doing. So like these are all things that I have that I've been writing, and I mean I got way more stuff in my car. Like, you know, look at my logo here, like my logo for my shop. Like I was sitting down with my brother, and we didn't even have the logo. We was drawing it. Like you seen my logo, right? Yeah. This is how my logo started. We drew it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how the dream came out. And you know, you got, you know, I got names. I've already got names of what my product line is gonna be. It still hasn't happened, but it's still in the works. You know?
I love that you're pre-planning all of this, because this makes a difference for sure.
So once you make one step, you have to already be preparing the other step.
I love that.
If you're gonna do one step, you really think like one artist that I like a lot is Bad Bunny. You really think that if Bad Bunny drops a song today, he's not thinking of what song he's gonna drop tomorrow?
No, that man's making a long-term plan.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So you always have to stay active, you know? And even though it doesn't look like you're working, you're still working. A lot of people tell me, well, you're not working. Man, I'm working every time. Even when it doesn't look like I'm working, I'm working. You know, so it's just stuff that I wrote down. And you know what? When I designed my shop, when I was talking about my shop, I was like, I want it to be an urban professional barbershop. Right. Why did I want it to be urban? Because I still don't want to lose my Puerto Rican sweet and tangy feeling. You know, that's what I call it. You know, I still want to put the salsa reggaeton. I still want people to, I want people when they come in there, they're like, man, not only learn about cutting hair, but about our just culture, the culture too.
Yeah. There's a certain diversity too in the shop that you go in, and it's like, and we're gonna input all your information here in the description below, so they can, you know, follow you and, you know, get in contact with your information, all that stuff. But yeah, there's a certain experience, and this is probably why I've been going to the shop for so long, since it first started. There's a certain experience that you go that even with like the other barbers, there's like this feeling of family, like everybody's joking, like the music's playing in the background, the kids are running around, you got the little fucking dog. It's just fucking hilarious. So it's a very homey feeling. As soon as you walk into the shop, it's like you feel like in a sense like you're at home.
And if you go on the right days, we might have food and some drinks, you know, to just give customer appreciation. So, and that's what we wanted to do. You know, we wanted people to feel like they don't only come to a barbershop. Like if you look at my shop, it doesn't say barbershop anywhere. It says barber lounge. If you look up the definition, lounge is a place where people gather up and they sit down and just relax. That's why I didn't name it a barbershop. I don't want you to be like, I'm going to Fernando's barbershop. I don't want it to make it about me. Even though it still has a meaning about me in the logo. Right. If you're smart enough, you'll be like, you know, it still has his touch there. Yeah. Because there's something in there that you're like, okay, this is him. But it doesn't, that's not what it presents automatically. You know, You got fades, which is something urban, is something new. You got combs with back in the day. You used to do comb over something more classic, more high end. And then you got barber, which that's what we are. And then you got lounge, to where it's a place that you can come and relax. So I feel like we cover all those areas. You know, you could come to us and you could get that fade. You could get that comb over. You could come to that barbershop, but you could also come to that lounge and relax and just talk to us about whatever situation you got going on, and we're gonna make sure you're straight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's diversity not only in, we're gonna put product, because the product is the service that you provide, whether it's a classic shave, you know, with the whole process, or whether it's, you know, a modern fade, right? Yeah. So you guys got that, which is really dope. So when was it exactly that, you know, the idea of first starting your shop came in?
Well, when I was 18, my dad, I didn't have a lot of money. When I moved to Jacksonville, I had probably like $250. So my dad would tell me, hey, you got to build your credit. So he would hit me hard on, don't get that, get this, don't get that, get this, and he would give me a hard time paying stuff. And I didn't like owing money to anybody, so I tried to pay that fast. So I realized that when I open a shop, I won't open it with my own money. Like, you know, even though I had the money, I was like, I'm going to keep this money to the side, and I'm just going to use somebody else's money.
Absolutely, very smart.
You know, so what I did was, like, I really went to see Senor to eat one day, and I saw that location open.
And you're like, I got to get this shit.
And I was like, man, I'm doing a shop. I was just tired of working for somebody, you know. Not because it was a bad place to work in. I just wanted a me thing. Right. It was about me at that moment.
No, I can understand that.
So I went to the place. I was like, yo, this place is set up, dog. Like, it has all the outlets where I'm going to put the stations. It has the tile floor. All I got to do is put paint on this thing, and I'm good. So I called the people, and the people was like, what type of business you want to do? I want to do a barbershop, blah, blah, blah. You know, because once you talk to these people, you have to show the people you have the money, and you have to show them, like, your business plan and all that stuff. So thank God I had all that written. So the dude sat down with me, and he was like, yo, we cannot give it to you because we have a business that is open at the beaches, and they're trying to move into this location. So I was like, I'm not opening a shop. But this is where it gets funny, bro, because once something is for you, it's for you, bro. Nobody can take it away from you. That's why I get mad when somebody does the same thing that you do and you're hating on that person. Look at like when have you seen Nike and Adidas fighting over shoes and clothing? Like, you know, what is for you, it's for you, bro. Nobody can take it away. It doesn't matter. If you don't have it, it wasn't meant for you.
Como es el dicho, si lo que está para ti nadie te lo quita.
Yeah. Exactamente. So I get a call back. I think it's 2 days later, bro. I'm looking for locations, and I have not found a location. I said, well, maybe it's not meant for me to have a shop right now. So what they called me, and they were like, hey, you know what? These people are taking too long. If they're going on a flight, we're just going to decide to go with you. So I was like, cool. What do I need to have? They were like, oh, you just need to have $5,000 deposit. It was $5,000 first and last month rent and something else. So I was like, all right, give me a second. Let me call my bank, and I will call you right back. So at that moment, it was a time issue, because I knew that depending on how fast I got the money, I was going to get my shop. So I was going to try to get a business loan. But the thing about a business loan, you got to have your business open X amount of time, and you got to have X amount of things for them to give you the loan. I knew my credit was so good that I was like, I'm just going to get a personal loan. It is a bigger risk because it's a higher percentage. Yeah. But it's a bigger probability you get that personal loan than you get that business loan. Yeah. So, I mean, I took that risk, but I knew I could pay for it. So I called my bank. My bank, yeah. How much you need? X amount of money. You're like, you're approved. The money's in your bank. I called the dude back. Yo, I got the $5,000 when you want to meet. So it had to be fast because once they give you that chance, you got to pull that trigger. Like you can't sit and
Right, especially when they told you that
you know,
they weren't going to work with the other person. Yeah.
So my plan was like, I gotta make this money now. I knew I had money in my bank account, but I was like, I gotta make more money because I know this whole bunch of money is gonna go out.
Right.
So I mean, everything started happening. I got a guy. You know, a lot of people have chairs and stuff, and like their chairs break in the barbershop, and then they gotta wait a month to. You know, I have a guy in the city. He's actually going to be at my show in the city that gives me all the chairs. If they break down, he comes fix them right away. I was like, I need to have somebody. If something happens, they are liable for what happens right then and there. I can't wait. So I got all the chairs. I got all the stuff. And, dude, I have friends that were down for me, bro. I really didn't spend money on build-outs. I really, you know, I would really wake up at 5 in the morning, cut hair at 5 in the morning in that same barbershop full of dust, full of chairs. It wasn't even built. Like, and I was cutting their hair. Friends would tell me, hey, cut my hair. I'll paint your walls for you if you cut my hair. And, you know, this is stuff that people do not know.
That's a power of fucking networking right there.
You know, this is stuff. And I was cutting in a broken chair. Like, and this, I was making money. I was already making money in Art Shaving because Art Shaving was giving me a nice check. But I was waking up 5 in the morning, going to the shop, cut hair, because these dudes were going to paint my shop and call these people and put lights and stuff for me. I would go to work, go from work. I only had 30-minute breaks. Sometimes I didn't even eat. Go back to the barbershop, check up on the barbershop, go back to work, get off at 6, go to the barbershop, finish up painting, finish up cleaning. Once stayed in the barbershop till 12 in the morning to wake up at 5 in the morning the next day again. So you probably only get 3 hours of sleep. But people do not understand. I heard this from Steve Harvey, bro, and he could not say it better, bro. Before you charge for what you do and you raise your prices, you have to do what you do in a high level for a sustained amount of time, bro. You cannot want to be like, yeah, give me $30 for something that you have not done. You have to be good for X amount of times. Bro, I've been in Jacksonville 11 years, 6 years I've been cutting to where anybody knows me. I could go out anywhere on this city and somebody's probably gonna know me. So I just, you know, I had the chance. I pulled the trigger. I worked on my credit. I had enough credit, but you know, I have other dreams now. The only reason I'm not realizing them is because I made a promise to myself. I was like, you know, first one I got in with a loan. Next time I'm not opening. I'm not going to the bank. I'm gonna be my own bank. You know, I'm gonna get my own money. I'm gonna pay for it cash, and that's gonna be it. So I'm doing a lot of stuff to where it builds to where I could buy stuff cash now instead of asking somebody.
Yeah. No, that's dope. I know I have a barber friend too. Well, I had one. He would, and like prices, people don't understand. You price yourself what you think you're worth, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not only that, like
experience too.
It's the experience and it's hard to, like, at least in Jacksonville, it's hard for you to find a good barber. And this is what I mean, a good barber. People get me wrong when I mean by good barber. A lot of people could give out a good haircut. Not a lot of people could be on time. Not a lot of people, if you're late for an appointment, that barber is going to sacrifice himself and still give you a haircut, you know? Not a lot of barbers are going to be consistent with it. So that's what a good barber means. A good barber is somebody that is going the extra mile for you, you know?
You know, 100%. My barber actually did that. He would, I mean, before I went to you guys, he would actually do like a whole shave and towel, hot towel.
Yeah.
He only charged me $30 for that. Like, he would do all that. He was really dope. He took his time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a bit. So anyway, that's not the point. But I just want to notate that Fernando the barber compared to Fernando the businessman is two different people.
Yeah.
And that's like you were saying. And I think it's dope. Like you're pretty articulate. You can articulate yourself really well. But when you're in the barbershop, you're having fun. You're making jokes. And that's dope. It really is. Because like if I didn't have this conversation, I'd be like, damn, this guy's just like a Puerto Rican barber.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And you really do see it once you go to your shop, and like, yeah, because they're playing music, you know, you're all making jokes and talking about.
Yeah, we just want to make. I don't only want to make it fun for the clients, but I've had barbers almost 2 years now, And that's what I learned. You have to do so many stuff because I mean, even though you're the owner, you still want to keep a good environment for your barbers to stay. Because you know that if you don't if the people that if you cannot trust the people that work for you and you cannot have them on a safe and good environment, you're just gonna be messed up as a company because they're gonna leave. You know, they're not. You know, and a lot of my barbers that left, they came back because they were like, "Yo, like I feel good at your spot," you know, and they end up apologizing. They come back and they do better. But you know, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about within reasons. You know, giving you a good work area and trying to get you to feel good. But you know, I started a business really young, which is at 22. Really, I opened, but at 21, I started doing all the moves. There's stuff that you learn when you're in business. You know, I've the reason that I am where I am today is because I've messed up a lot of times, bro. So if it wasn't for those mess ups and stuff like that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah. No, 100%. Because you need like failure. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And they're not really like it's not a failure. It's not like a loss. It's a learning experience.
Yeah, it is
to get better. Yeah. I was gonna just quickly want to ask. I've been to your barbershop. There's people older than you. How does it feel like I'm the boss of this guy? I'm like twice my age. How does that feel? Because you're pretty young. You're 23, right?
Yeah, 24. I just turned 24. It's funny because the guy that actually cut your hair before is the guy that taught me how to cut hair 10 years ago. Jose is the first guy that let me do a star on somebody's head. This guy came into the shop. He was gonna get a bald cut. So he told me, do a star on his head and see how you do it. And I did actually pretty good. And that kind of helped me because it made me want to become a barber more. But that's the thing. Like when I started, I was like, I'm the boss. And I feel like if you have to say you're the boss and like you're not the boss, you know, people know when you're the boss. But I don't like to see myself as a boss. I like to see myself as a leader. And I like to see myself as a person that takes other ideas to grow, you know. I'm not gonna say I was always like that. I was not always like that. I was like, this is the way you're gonna do it, and you know, and I'm still kind of like that, but I take other people's idea because you never know if somebody else's idea might add to your vision. So, you know, how do I feel? I feel good because I feel like I have experience in my barbershop, you know. Like, you know, there's a lot of these stuff. Like, I got a dude that is 38. He's been cutting hair for 20 plus years. So, I mean, how good is it for me that I've been in the game 10 years, having somebody that has more experience? Like, what are the stuff that I could learn from him that could make me be better? So, I feel good because it's only going to make me be a better owner and a better leader, you know? So, I stopped seeing myself as a boss. A boss tells you what to do. A leader is going to help you do it, you know? So when I grow, and when I make more money, or when I have events, now you see all my guys. You don't only see me. I don't want you to only see me. So like, for example, when I just had my Christmas party this year, it was probably one of the most wonderful times that I've had because I had all my barbers with me. So to have all that, you know, it was pretty awesome, you know, you kind of build a family. You have all these guys to where you don't know 2 years ago to where now, fast forward 2 years later, you guys are sharing Christmas together. And that's something I built and we built together. And if I wasn't mature enough to understand and to hear him out, I would have probably had that. So I feel good when I have people that are older.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. That's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna swing it back to Randy. I want quickly before I do. I have a serious question, man. It's a serious question right now. I'm gonna swing it back to Randy because I think you guys have you guys have been build a better conversation than I can. But serious question, Fernando, dog.
Yeah.
I know you can tell right now my hair's a little messed up. Someone asked me on the chat. They were like, "Yo, man, just ask him. You know, gauge his interest." I'm dealing with fraud right now. My bank account ain't looking too nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking rough, as you can tell. But someone asked, man, if you can give me a free haircut, it made me look nice. No, I'm joking. Just joking. No, but I am looking rough, and I do need a haircut. I'm probably gonna swing by this weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend.
I have you booked for next next Saturday.
Yeah.
No, but it was a joke. I know. I'm kind of a guy that's kind
Yeah,
of
the way you're checking in your savings work is
My bank account.
my bank account. No, it's looking rough. I actually have fraud on my account. I gotta get that shit figured out. I'm down $80. You know what I'm saying? But it was a joke. I know you guys hustle, so I ain't trying to hustle you guys.
I mean, there's ways I don't think anything is free. I mean, that's what networking is for, you know. I just gave a couple people of haircuts, but I mean, if there's a couple of shout outs or something, you could get a haircut, you know. It's really not free.
So real quick, I kind of wanted to just extend some appreciation, which I'm sure your barbers appreciate you a lot, because in a sense what you're doing is, like you said, you're a leader, right? So not only are you leading, but you're also a provider.
Yeah.
Because you're providing, the chair and the shop for everybody else to work with. So you're providing jobs too, man. So I see that as in like, holy shit. Not only am I helping myself, but I'm helping somebody else with their dreams. So I mean, how does that feel? Because honestly, that's a point where I want to get to that point in life where I'm providing that kind of help to other people.
It feels awesome. You know, I sometimes it's funny because I say it out loud and people be like, "Oh, he's trying to become all sentimental and stuff." Because I play around so much, you know. I'm usually always laughing at everything and stuff, but it feels awesome to know that you're that guy, because this is how I see it. There's 9 guys in there. Those are 9 families that are eating from that barbershop, you know. And not only that, you know, I don't say this much often, but I'm in an association for the Florida Barbers. We have over 100 barbers in there. Not a lot of people know this, but it's kind of like anonymous. But there's 100 barbers in there, and with the stuff that happened in Puerto Rico, we just send stuff out there, money, you know, food and stuff. And these are stuff that a lot of people don't know. So when I see this, I love it because we're moving the economy and we're helping our community, you know. Plus there's so many other stuff we do throughout the year that is not talked about with, you know, with homeless people and stuff like that. But it feels good, bro, because every millionaire client that I've met or have since I started cutting hair, they're all about pay it forward.
All right.
So if you're in a situation to where you have something, don't think you did it by yourself. There's no way you ever did something by yourself. Somebody had to put somebody in your situation for you to be better. So when I started realizing, you know, all this that I have is not just up to me, it's up to not only it's up to God first and to other people, I started growing, you know. So I started paying it forward to people. So, you know, just sit down. Like, I mean, I started reading this the other day. I'm making more money now than what I've ever made in my life. And I was like, yo, I wish I could have this. And I wish, you know, sometimes we get caught up in what we wish we could have. And I started reading, and based on the money that I made and based on what I've had right now, I'm 0.1% in America at my age. And I'm like, yo, like I'm 0.1% in America, and sometimes we still complain. So, you know, I stopped looking at me and I started looking at other people. Like, look to the side. Sometimes that person that might look happy, you don't know if he has 8 or not. So it comes to that. Like, you know, it feels awesome because not only am I provided to them, but also to the community. And what we have built, it makes them provide for the community. So it's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, no, the more you give back, I feel like the more you receive.
Yeah.
And that's without even thinking of receiving.
Yep.
And so that's why you're going to keep receiving just subconsciously. And just the way that the way that you operate is fucking phenomenal. I really appreciate you as a person. I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you. I really do. That's why I wanted you to come here to the podcast, because I know I was going to have a lot of good talking points. To deviate a little bit from the barber and the journey that you've begun on, because you talked about, you know, that you wanted to do basketball, right?
Yeah.
And you said, and I don't know if this is something you still got going on. You said you had was it a females basketball team that you were setting up? So
actually, right now, La Liga Hispana de Jacksonville. That's where I'm playing. That's where I play basketball now.
So you play, or you?
I play. They have a male team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently playing for the Suns right now. It's like a little league. It's not that big of a deal, but We've made a girls team too. I don't know exactly when the girl season is gonna start because it's up to the league for them to decide. But yeah, I love basketball. That's something that I've always loved. So yeah, I have a little basketball team, guys and a girls team.
That's so neat. Is that like the only sport that you're into, or do you like baseball?
I mean, I like baseball. Baseball, you grow up and I was actually better in baseball than what I was in basketball. I just like baseball less, just because it was a slower sport. Basketball, you would move more.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I should have stuck to baseball. I was really better at baseball than
What position do you play?
center field.
Center field.
Yeah, I played up to ninth grade, and then I was like, this is not for me. And then I tried going with basketball, but I had a horrible GPA in high school, so I was never able to make it to a high school team.
That's fun. That's funny, man. I want to get into this event, because this is kind of like the one thing you've been working on for how long is he?
Well,
and then you can name the event.
And this happened the same way as my shop. The show is called Jack's Elite Barber Expo, and it's crazy because I was in November and I saw all these shows going and going and going, and I'm like, man, how about if I could do a show in Jacksonville? And I was like, and I got a little bit of money saved, so I'm like, let me just go to this hotel back here. Bro, and I went to the hotel, and they were like, yeah, we can reserve it for you if you want to. And they gave me X amount of money. And there's no better feeling than having that feeling than somebody telling you, well, it's going to cost you X amount of money. And they look at you crazy because they don't think you got the money, and then you just paid for it. They're like, okay, cool. so like, that's a great feeling for me. I've always wanted to do that. I think that's a stud move. Like, for somebody, well, that's this much money. And then you're like, okay, cool, here. And then they look at you like, what the hell? Like, this dude just really gave me all this. So I thought that was pretty
That's
cool.
actually funny. I want to share an experience because I bet this person felt the same. And he's one of my mentors. I watch him a lot on social media, and I've actually went to one of his events. His name is Grant Cardone. You may or may not have heard him. So have you heard his story? What he did? So
Well, I've heard a lot about him. Bro.
Yeah. So his thing with his jet, because he has a jet.
Oh yeah.
So have you heard his story?
Yeah. He
literally wired. So he called Gulfstream. He's like, yo, I need a jet. He's like, I don't think we have anything in stock.
Wired like 1.8 million, something like that.
No, it was a lot more than that.
I don't know how
it was
much
a lot. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's gonna blow your fucking pants off. So he calls into Gulfstream, and he's like, yo, I need a jet. And they're like, I don't think we have anything for a good time. So they get off the phone. He wires $50 million to Gulfstream. Calls the guy. He's like, yo, check your bank account. He's like, the guy's like, I've never seen anybody do that. And so they just fucking give him a jet,
and he wrote it off. And he wrote it.
And he wrote it the fuck off. He wrote it as a bit. He writes everything that he does with that fucking jet as business.
I mean, yeah. You can if it's for business.
So
purposes.
I mean, that's obviously a much bigger thing to do, but it's similar situation.
Yeah, similar situation. It's levels. It's levels,
right?
Absolutely. But this is the way that I think. If you're at this level and you're doing good at that level, don't get sidetracked by what somebody is doing up here. Like how many years of
man's been doing
working hard has he hit. So instead of hating on it and use that so you can go up to that level. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get to that level, but I'm gonna get there.
Don't worry about the how. I love it.
Don't worry about the how. Just keep working, keep grinding. I mean, this 2019, bro, I've met people that I've never thought about meeting. I've talked to people that I've never thought about talking. I've been to houses that I never thought I was gonna go, and I don't want to mention the names because I want to kind of keep it private. But if I keep working hard and these people see hard work, like I feel that we could do a lot of things together.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry, I didn't get sidetracked. So you went to the hotel spot. You're like, I got the fucking money. What's up? And then so what's going on from there?
Well, they gave it to me, bro, and I was like, this is what I want. This is what I need. I need you to block X amount of rooms and yada yada yada. So I sit down with an event organizer. They did my website. They did everything, and right there when I was sitting down, I'm like, I don't even have a name for the show. And I was like, we're in Jacksonville. So I was like, Jack's Barber Battle. or Jack's Barber Expo. And then he's like, how about Elite? I'm like, Jack's Elite Barber Expo. We just came out right there. I was like, that's the name. Like, that's it. We rocking with it. So, and it's been good, bro, because we have so much good feedback. We got Yandy Blends. We got Papito Bless Hands. We got Stilo the Barber. We got so many people coming to the city. And, this is not only an event to show people how to cut hair, but this is an event to show people how to become entrepreneurs. This is an event that you're going to be able to see that we are more much than just barbers. They're going to have other businesses promoting themselves. There's going to be insurance agents. There's going to be there's going to be so many stuff.
I'm definitely going to be going there because it's going to be a networking opportunity for me.
It's a networking event. You never know who you meet there, and I might just bring some other people, surprise. So, but I'll tell you this, I do have some clients that are going there that they look like they're nobody, but in reality they're pretty big time in the city. So I'm not gonna say who they are, but if you go out there, you might be able to meet them. They might be able to like you. You guys might be able to work with them together. Anybody, So it's all about a sacrifice thing. You got to go out there and see. But I mean, it's a pretty cool event. You're gonna have music. You're gonna have products for your hair. Sometimes people want to learn what works better for my hair or this and that. So that's a good way for you to find out all those things. Clippers. Right. Sometimes people want to shave their face at home. They don't know what to shave with or anything like that. You can find it there.
So I would probably say that you're pretty fucking excited about this event.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. Oh, plus whoever competes is gonna get not only prizes, but they're gonna get money, cash money. So we got 5 different categories. Each category is whoever wins first place, they're gonna win $250. Whoever wins our best category, which is best barber all around, is gonna win $500 cash, and they're gonna take a bunch of goodies home. There's a lot of stuff that we're giving out, so I want to make sure that everybody understands that. If you win first place, you get money, you take it home, and
So how are you signing people up, or how does it work? How are you able to go in and try and compete?
Well, you could either contact me through my Facebook, which is Fernando Corps, Fernando Corps Corps, or you could go to my Instagram, which is Nando_787.
Which we got all that in the description, so we're gonna make it a lot easier for people.
We got that on there. There's a link there that says JacksEliteBarberExpo.com. You could go in there. You could buy your tickets. You could get your hotel. You could email me as well if you want to get a table. If not, you could just go Jack's Elite Barber Expo on Instagram. You could follow us. You could go on there. So everything is on the website. I'm really not a website guy, so I just like calling people. So if you want to call me, just understand that I am busy, but I will get back to you. I always get back to people.
Yeah, there's
if you call me and I don't answer, I'm gonna get back to you. I hate not getting back to people. And sometimes people tell me, bro, just let it be. Like you gotta. I'm like, no, bro, I gotta get back to them. So, I will get back to you. But those are the ways on contacting me and letting me know that you want to come to the show.
Perfect. Okay. So, and we're like we talked about this. We're definitely going to be having you on prior to your event starting. So, when's your event starting?
My event starts. Well, there's a seminar. There's an educational seminar. So, if you're a barber or you're a person that wants to become a barber, there's a seminar that is going to start at 9 a.m. to 1. That's going to touch all the bases on not only how to do a fade, but it's going to teach you how to do a platinum style. Color, how to cut with scissors. We're going to have motivational speaker there, which is Papito. Papito Bless Hand is a person that I'm signed with his company. It's called Bless Hand. So all the product line that you see at my shop that's blessed is by him. He's not only a barber, he's an entrepreneur. And he cuts celebrities. So, he's a good person to have and ask. So I will go to the seminar just to see him talk. Business is business. If you see somebody that is a barber, he's an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur and he's doing good. You want to take an advice from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I would go there. And we're going to have competitions. We're going to have music. Plus, we're going to have an after party right after the show. So that's going to be pretty dope.
And so that's February when?
February 16th.
February 16th.
Yeah, Sunday. So it's going to be Hyatt Place at Town Center. right behind Fogo de Chao. Is a nice location. So we're gonna have drinks.
Oh, the
we're
new
gonna have
Hyatt
food.
building in
Yeah,
Town
new
Center?
Hyatt building.
Nice.
I try to go as fancy as I could so I could get people to come in and feel good. So
That's a great location.
yeah,
Yeah,
great
it
location.
really is a great location. So, I mean, what? Because you're so ambitious, man. Honestly, and
Yeah.
I can tell just by the way that you express yourself. The ideas, how you just push and push and push. What's your next thing, man? Like, what do you want to do? Like, where you see yourself taking this whole Barber thing? 'Cause you obviously have a shop, and that's a big thing. You're doing your event, and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I know you're ambitious. I know you're gonna want more. You're saying you want to hit 7 figures, and you're gonna have to have multiple streams of income to do that.
Yeah.
So, like, where do you see yourself? Like, let's say in the next, because I've talked to people, right, and I've told people, hey, listen, this is 2020. 2020 is gonna be great, but we're gonna start to have to actually look at our lifespan in a much longer term. So I'm looking at the decade, right? I'm looking at 2030. So what's the plan? Do you have any idea of how you want to stretch yourself, where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, my plan is to I want to open other barbershops. But the barbershops that I open, whoever stays with me at my shop, I'm going to put them on. So now they're going to be owners too. So my plan is to...
Are you thinking of franchising?
Yeah, franchising it. So now they could be owners and they can make their own money. Because I don't want somebody to be thinking like, yo, this dude's making money off of me. And I'm not growing or I'm not anything. So I want to put them on. Whoever stays with me, I want to put them on. That's one of the ideas we have. We have a product line. I'm not going to say the name yet because we just haven't done everything we have to do. But I want to do eventually a product line. But my plan is just working with this Bless company that I have right now, take as much as I can out of it. Like, get to know the dude a lot more, get to educate a lot more. My plan is to travel, do shows. So like with this company, what I was able to get is to everything that goes on the East Coast of the United States. Every show, anybody that wants to buy products, it goes through me. So I want to learn how to do all that and travel to shows and go showcase and be more known, stuff like that. But my ultimate goal is to build a school. I want to do a school. Why? Because I could impact people a lot more that way. I feel like there's a couple of schools in town. Not all of them provide the best education. A lot of them, they just do whatever they have to do to get you through school. Not, and get you out. They don't do what they have to do to get to be the best that you can be. So my plan is to build a bilingual school. There's no bilingual school in the city. Okay. And hopefully we could build that and we could get better, and just stay tuned for you guys to know. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Be worked out.
I do want to go in depth into the school thing, because like you said, you're actually giving back. You're going to be setting people up to be barbers and be entrepreneurs. Because when I see a barber, that's what I see. It's an entrepreneur, especially if you don't have a boss. When you're just dealing with your time, dealing with your clients and stuff like that. So how does that actually work? Is it a process where they go through school and they get kind of like a diploma at the end that certifies them as a barber, or are you just actually teaching them how to be a barber?
Well, a lot of people that go through that program, they probably know how to cut hair, but based on I know a lot of people that don't even have a license that they cut better than people that have license. Okay. Just by you going to school and getting a license doesn't mean it's going to make you better.
So is that what this is going to be? You actually get licensed at the end?
You actually get licensed. So it's something that you need in order for you to cut legally and have your mind in peace. You have to go to school to get a license. There's no way around it. You could be the best barber. You could be the best whatever. You have to go to school and get a license. It doesn't matter.
Nice.
Okay. And I totally don't love school, but if that's what I have to do to be more successful and grow my income, that's what I have to do.
Perfect.
So what happens with a school? You sign up and you pay X amount of money. There's schools that you pay $5,000, $18,000, depending on the school. Say for example, Paul Mitchell is probably one of the biggest name school out there. You go to Paul Mitchell, they give you a look at the school. You get to look at the school. If you like it, then you sign up. You could either pay for it cash, however, I don't know. Like sometimes you might apply for FAFSA. FAFSA might give you some money, scholarship. So there's many ways around it. But I think they're like $18,000 and you spend there a year. But I mean, think about it, bro. You know how many people go to college for 4 years? They spend $100-something thousand plus. You go to barber school you're probably gonna spend 10 grand. You're gonna make 3 to 5 times more than what you just invested automatically.
Right. So it's definitely a worthwhile investment if you're interested in it.
Yeah, and if you're really good and you create clientele fast, you could. I know barbers that don't have shops that make 6 figures. You don't have to be a business owner to have 6 figures. You just need to be a dope ass barber for you to make 6 figures.
Yeah.
But the thing is not about how much you can bring in; it's about how much you can keep. You have to know how to work with your money. That's what a lot of people don't know. But school, you go to school. You have to learn how to do color. You have to learn how to do the hair and all that stuff. They teach you.
So is this like a one-on-one thing where you're dealing with a teacher?
You have a class. So like every school is different, but you should have a class and they should teach you based on you read the books and you know how to cut the hair properly and all that stuff. And once you finish with that, you get a diploma, but that's still not done. You still have to take a state test. So like for example, when you're an insurance agent, whatever, you still have to go through like this little online course for you to finish.
You have to get.
You have to finish.
Absolutely have to get licensed.
You have to do that, and then you have to go take the test. That's the same thing with cutting hair.
Exactly. Okay. So that's one thing that I wanted to touch on, right? Because we're talking about basically a physical school where you have to go, right?
Yeah.
So I was listening to Ty Lopez the other day. And he was talking. He's big into e-commerce, right? Yeah. And so when people think about e-commerce, they just think about Amazon drop shipping items and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a lot deeper than that. So think about taxis, right? Yeah. Taxis were a big thing until Uber came along.
Yeah.
So there is still a physical aspect of you getting picked up by a car, but the process in which you order the car is different, right? Mm-hmm. You actually get on your phone and you have to get on the app and you order the car. That's technically e-commerce, right? So the way that I'm looking at this, because obviously there is now educational systems online. So we have online school. So is that something that's something that I would probably suggest, because you're able to hit a broader market or just a more expandable market, because you're hitting more than just jacks, right? You're hitting a bunch load. Is that something that you would probably be able to consider?
Yeah.
And I know that I told you about this before.
But I mean, based on the law, you can't really teach online yet and get them licensed. There's courses that you can take. There's courses like, for example, I'll take videos, and there's courses that I could teach people, and people will pay for those courses and they could learn. And once you go to school, that'll be a lot easier.
That's something.
But I mean, that's a really touchy subject, because you have to do so much. Like, you have to create that. But I agree. I think is a great way for you to reach more people, but it is gonna take more time. Right. I mean, the same way it took time for barbers to be where they are now. Like, you didn't see barbers charging $50, $60 back then.
Right.
Barbers. I remember if you told your parents you were gonna be a barber, they look at you crazy. Now, I wanted you to be a lawyer and stuff, like not now.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to date a barber.
Yeah, no, your parents are always going to look at you crazy when it's not within their expectations.
So I mean, I feel like everything is crazy for people until you actually make it. For example, all these things that are happening now is stuff that people dreamed of, and nobody trusted them. They thought they were going to be crazy until it happened, and now they're millionaires. Like, for example, like I hear Steer Harvey a lot. Everything that we have today, it happened because people dreamed. If somebody had to dream, I'm right here and I want to fly over there, I'm going to build a plane. And people thought that he was crazy. Somebody had the phones, and whenever they was like, I want to walk down the street and be able to talk, and that's when the cell phone came out. So all these things were dreams, and people thought that you couldn't do them. Like, if you would have told me back in 2000 that we were going to be able to FaceTime people, would you believe it? Probably not.
Not back then, but now I'll fucking believe anything with technology.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I mean. I mean, could it be done? Yeah, but it's just gonna take a process, and And is it something in the works? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something in the works. How is it gonna happen? I don't know. That's why I'm big on networking. And that's when it goes back to the question that he had. How do you feel when you have somebody that is older than you? Sometimes they're going to give me ideas to where we're going to make that possible. So that's why I travel a lot. That's why I do a lot of networking, because that like, for example, have you seen the movie of Steve Jobs?
I've personally never seen it, no.
Which one?
All right. Huh?
Which one is two?
Well, I don't know. I've only seen one, which is yeah, that one.
Okay. Yeah.
So, man, this dude didn't actually build the computer. He was just the dude that had the dream. He believed that it could happen, and he had people around him that were a lot smarter and more capable of him, but he was the one that had that drive. And that's when everything came. So, like,
It's important.
That's what I'm saying.
You need a team.
In order for you to build something big, you need people around you. So, is it like an idea? Yes, it's an idea. I just don't know how exactly it's gonna happen. But would it happen? Yes.
You're thinking on expanding
Yeah.
on it. Okay. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. Absolutely, man. You have any questions?
No, I was gonna say, like, it's a little like allegory or like example. Like in Ford v Ferrari, they came to Shelby, I don't know his first name, and he was like, yo, build me a car that's gonna beat Ferrari.
Yeah.
Do you see Ford v Ferrari? It's a good movie.
Nah, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I want to see it.
But yeah, they came to him. They were like, yo, Ford came like, yo, could you build a car that's gonna win us that long race and beat Ferrari?
Yeah.
And he didn't do it himself. He had his whole team, and he actually, well, based on the movie, because it could be, dramatized. He's like, I want my guy. Like, if y'all don't get my guy, we're not gonna win. But he didn't do it himself. He had his whole team, but because he was ambitious enough, he was the one like, yeah, we're gonna do this. At that time, no one thought like, no one's gonna be Ferrari.
That boy's a damn
Yeah, right. Too. He's a salesman too. But I just want to I guess I know you guys have a really good conversation. I just want to, Fernando, if you want to specify so how there's money in barbershop. A lot of people don't realize that. I just want to ask you though, because I heard stories about it. Has there ever been a client that's personally flown you out to, say the different city? They're big, they're big businessmen. They've ever flown you out to, to fly you out and
do a haircut.
Yeah. You have that experience?
Not really, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had people pay me the day for me. Like, for example, I got a wedding on October or something. They're paying me big bucks for me to take the day off and just worry about them.
Yeah.
But you have to offer something. You can just come up there and offer haircuts. Like, I usually, when somebody, like, let's say it's a wedding experience, like, I try to take them like some desserts or something, and so they can kind of like eat, or like, some of them, like, I ask them, do you like cigars? I'll probably get a couple of cigars and have some of the guys have, you got to build an experience, because if somebody's paying you $1,000, $2,000 for you to take the day off, you can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to give you a haircut, Yeah. You have to know how you're going to do that. You need to know the place and stuff like that. I've had hotels pay me the day for me to give my services, but not haven't met somebody as big time yet for them to fly me out yet. I've had clients that get their haircuts that they're going to fly me out to places to have fun, or, they'll pay for my vacations, but I haven't had somebody that flies me out to cut their hair.
Yeah, because I heard they as soon as I land the city, that's when I'm getting paid. Like, I'm getting paid for that day. They're paying for my travel.
Yeah, for your
They're paying my hotel, all that. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty dope.
I mean, I've done it with people. I've paid people. Like, they'll usually, like, this is what they'll do. If they know you, they probably won't charge you for the hotel or the food. But usually this how it is. If they don't know you, they're gonna, they're like, it's $1,000 for this day, plus you got to pay my luggage, my car, which is rental, and my food and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. You have to do something for a sustained amount of time before you get there. I mean, I'm almost there. I'm working. People know me and stuff, but there's other stuff that I have to work with for me to get to that level right now.
Yeah, no, that's what I think is dope. And like barbershop, like just in general, I know barbershops that have really cool dynamic about that stuff like that. You hear interesting stories, which I think is awesome. I really do. But I just want to, because this is always an interesting topping point, and if you don't want to elaborate or you want to keep it as simple as you want, but if you want, like, how much money do you make on just barbershop alone? Like, if you want, you don't want to give an exact figure, but
Well, I have 9 barbers,
mm-hmm.
and my rent is a little bit cheaper than the regular rent here in Jacksonville. And the reason that I did that was because I wanted to build my barbers to a position to where they could pay more.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually working on charging more on rent right now. But I mean, just on rent alone, I make $1,350 a week. So I mean, that's what 5,400 I think it is, something like that.
And that's yeah.
That's just on chairs. That's not counting what I make.
What you make on? No, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's,
I won't say what I make, but I make a little bit over that. But you know, right there you can make the numbers, and you know that's 6 figures a year. But you know, since there's so much cash money, if you don't know how to keep that money, it would not look like 6 figures. You know, it will not look like 6 figures. For example, when I was working at Art Shaping, I was not making 6 figures. I was making good money, almost 6 figures, but I wasn't there. And I had a $50,000 SUV. You know, is it bad having a SUV? No, it just wasn't the time. So you know, I was living lavish. Like I would go out and eat in all these fancy restaurants and stuff like that. So what I did when I got my barbershop, I lowered my expenses. You know, I still got a nice truck now. It's just not a $50,000 truck. You know, there's a used one that got a little bit more miles and stuff like that. So, you know, I started knowing how money works. You know, it's good. You have to surprise yourself and gift yourself. Like, for example, every year I do buy an iPhone. You know, I'll probably buy a nice watch and stuff like that. But that's once a year. I still don't get sidetracked, you know. And my goal is to make more money. And then once I make more money, I could buy all these other things, you know.
Yeah.
If you can't buy it cash, don't buy it, you know. Like I mean, that's just my idea right now.
Right.
You know. And that's how I'm working.
Right.
You know, so I make quite a bit of money, but I'm not looking like it right now just because of personal reasons. You know, I want to save a little bit more money and invest my money right back. So
I mean, and you don't necessarily need to, man. When you know you got it, you know
nah,
you
but
fucking got
I
it.
like it. You know, I mean, who the heck doesn't want to wake up and drive a Mercedes S500?
So I think it's funny. I think it's cool the way that you operate, right? Because and I'm gonna throw this back to Grant Cardone. Something that he does is he's like, man, I have all these cars and I have the nice fucking $300,000 watches and shit like this, but none of this is actually coming out of like income that I'm currently working on, right? This is all passive income. So in a sense, you know, the amount of money that you're making from just the chairs on a weekly basis, you know, that's passive income. So you're not technically working for that income.
Now you understand that's really my income. What I work, I save.
Right.
That's how I'm working. That's what I try to mention myself. My income is $4,000 a month, which I make way more than that, but that's just my income. In order for me to, you know, you got to save that, the other, because you know it's crazy that most people in America don't even have $500 for emergencies. How crazy is that? Like you know. You don't have $500 for an emergency, like whenever it happens, like, you know, and those are things that I thought about. I'm like, well, you know, I have my own business. If something happens to me, I want to have enough money to where I can pay this and that. So that's where I'm at now. Now, rich people are not telling you not to buy things. They're telling you know when to buy things. And remember this is something that changed my life forever. The right thing at the wrong time is still the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
Buying a car might be the right thing, but if you do it at the wrong time, it's still the wrong thing. So,
Shit, I'm experiencing that right now.
So, you know, that's just some food for thought right there.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
absolutely. No, that is very important because especially younger people, I feel like it's very impressionable within a younger demographic. You know, they want to buy the fucking Gucci, the fucking expensive ass Jordans, the stupid fucking Supreme T-shirt that is literally nothing but fucking brand. And at the end of the day, they're putting up this whole thing of who they're trying to be for somebody else. and within just wasting fucking money. So
it's like this. Somebody told me this. If you are going to buy it and you have to look at your bank account for you to buy it, you're not supposed to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know how, like, let me see if I got enough money to pay for this.
And you're looking at the price tag. You're looking at the price tag.
You
You're
shouldn't
like,
buy
fuck.
it.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't buy it.
A lot of people don't give a fuck though.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part, man. They
why
just
a lot
do
of people
it.
is not in that situation that we are right now. You know, not a lot of people. You know, not a lot of people is because you know I don't live the best lifestyle. Like, you know, I'm not gonna tell you I have this type of car, but I live a good lifestyle. I'm not worried. I know all my bills are gonna be paid for. You know, and that's what happens. A lot of people don't care, but they're stressed the hell out, and they gotta wake up and you know. I work because I want to, not because I need to. I walk into my shop knowing how much I'm gonna make, not thinking how much I'm gonna make. You know, I built that. So tomorrow tonight before I go to sleep, I'm gonna go to my booksy and I know how much money I'm gonna make tomorrow. I'm not gonna walk in there thinking, oh, how much money could I make? You know, I'm gonna go to bed knowing that my apartment is paid, and if they debit that, I don't have to worry about it. That's the difference. You know, you could grind, but if you have to worry about paying your stuff, it's just not the right.
Yeah, you're
thing,
working
you know?
for the money.
Yeah,
you're working for the money.
You got to make money
not
work for you.
Work for you, 100%. So now that we've kind of touched on that subject, I also want to touch on a couple of things. One is, you know, obviously you're doing this event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're having a lot of. First, you're having a motivational speaker, and I'm sure he's a barber entrepreneur and stuff like that. Within that space. Do you have anybody that you look up to as far as like a famous barber or somebody who has built themselves to a precision where it's like, you know, they have a big brand and stuff like that? Do you look any mentors in that space?
Man, one person that I look up to, and you could go ahead and tag him once you put this video up. He's a good friend of mine's, and the reason he's such a good friend of mine is because regardless of any situation that happens with us with cutting hair or brands and stuff like that, we still manage to stay together, and that's Yandy Blends.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot.
Yandy Blends. I haven't been through all his story, but I know a lot of his story. Yandy Blends I met back in, I believe it was 2017, when I was in River. Is it River City or I think it's River City Barber Battle. That's Mike Gomez, the owner of Executive Barbershop. He has a shop right there over by Mayport. And I was at his show, and Yandy was there. And I don't know what happened. I've never met Yandy. I just know that a barber that cut my hair worked for him. So I told him, and we kind of like clicked.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, get my number, blah, blah. So, and from that, I went to his seminars in Orlando. He did a seminar here with Big Blends. If there's a reason that I know Big Blends today, which is a big guy in the industry right now, is because of him. There's a lot of people that I know today is because of Yandy Blends. So, I mean, I look up to him because when I met him, I think he had like 80,000 followers or 90,000 followers. Then when I looked again, he had 125,000 followers.
So my man's growing.
Fast forward to today, I think the dude has almost 400,000.
That's
I think he has 300,000 followers.
That's Yandy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
And
crazy.
not only does he have 300,000 followers, he took a company that was selling straight razors and shears or scissors. And now he has shirts, he has combs, he has
I've seen a
spray
bunch of his
bottles.
products.
You know, and he has two shops. He has one in Orlando that he has, I think he has about 9 to 10 barbers. He has great barbers, phenomenal barbers. He's in a small city of Kissimmee, so for him to be doing that there, that's a big thing.
So he's in here in Florida.
Yeah, he's here in Florida. And he has another shop in Miami. And I mean, he has cut people like Dalex, you know, Jay Quiles, which is big names in the rap reggaeton.
Yeah, like Spanish
community,
yeah.
You know. So I look up to him, bro, because if you really know his story, he was in a situation to where everything was going wrong. And he just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I mean, look where he's at now, you know, just relaxing. He goes to all these Grant Cardone shows and stuff like that. He travels to every show. and he's not scared to try new things. I remember when he did his seminar back in Orlando. I think that was May 20 something of 2000. I don't know if it was 8. I think it was 18. It was with Sky Salon. I've met Sky Salon because of him too. Sky Salon is a great friend of mine too because of him. And he was like, bro, I'm just so nervous about doing seminars. Like, I'm, this is not a me thing, but it's a fear that I have. So I want to face it and I want to do it. I'm
That's
like, yo, this
fucking
is
dope.
dope, yo.
That's
Like,
fucking amazing,
like,
dude.
you're not backing up. Like, and that's why I feel he's as big as he is. A lot of people might say he's not the best barber. He might be the best barber, but
We don't necessarily have to
he
be the
doesn't.
fucking
Yeah,
best
he
barber.
doesn't care. He does what he does because he loves it.
Yeah.
And once you meet Yandy in person, that's who he is, and he doesn't think he's bigger than anybody. And that's why I respect him as a person, other than a barber. To me, he's a dope barber. He can cut. He freaking will give you a haircut with a straight razor and a comb. I mean, not many people could do that. So I think he's definitely one of the GOATs in the industry. He put Florida on everywhere he goes. He puts Florida on, and that's what he is, And he gives me so much advice, bro. Every time he sees me, it's nothing but love. So to me, he's not only a great barber, he's a great entrepreneur, and he does things because he loves it, not because of what people would say.
Right. Yeah, and that's shout out to you, Johnny. I really a fun little fact. He actually you gave me a cut one day and you posted it on your Instagram, and he actually he put it on his story.
Yeah.
So I thought that was that was real cool. But shout out to you, man. I feel like we need more people like that because you don't necessarily have to be the best barber to be the best barber, if you know what I mean. Because this man has he has an Instagram right here. He has, I think, almost 300,000 followers. So he's built the brand for himself. He's built the name for himself to where the point where it's like, I don't have to be the best barber, but I am one of the best barbers.
Like visionary,
visionary.
Like how dope is that? Like you see visionary, like you just think of like something big, So that's what he did, and like I said, I wasn't there since the beginning, but ever since I've seen him, he has grown, and he puts everybody on, bro. That's the best thing about it. Like, he's not a greedy person. He doesn't think that he's the best. So once you find somebody as humble as that, man, you have to get close to him because you're gonna grow as well,
Right.
And he just has that energy that is gonna help you grow. So he's my homie, bro. No matter what happens, no matter what people will say, he's always gonna be my homie. Whether I'm with him or not with him, he's always gonna be a cool dude, man.
Nice. Okay, so that's kind of like your influencer in a sense, and
he's not only a friend, he's a mentor. He's a person to look up to. I tell him every time, bro. Like he doesn't need to talk much because he's a dude. You see it, and
it's in his character.
Yeah.
So anybody else outside of like the barber, like, so obviously you have, he's a business person, so you kind of look up to him as a business person, as a friend, all that good stuff. Do you have anybody outside? Because we were talking about Grant Cardone. Any other influencer that you personally look up to?
I look at
mentors.
Yeah, I look at a lot of people. Grant Cardone is one. Gary V. I like Gary V a lot. He's a really straight up person. I like that about him. I like that if he has to tell you, I don't give a damn. Like he'll tell you right to your face, like And I like that about him because he doesn't sugarcoat stuff. Gary V. Grant Cardone. I like Grant Cardone because I think he's a gangster.
He is a fucking gangster.
I think he's a
There's
gangster.
no doubt
bro.
about that.
He has so much trust in him that he doesn't care about putting everything right back into investing or anything because he just knows, bro.
That dude's a savage.
He's a savage, and once you do that, you have to risk stuff. So he risked it. But there's so many people, bro. LeBron James, bro. Oh yeah, that's definitely. LeBron James is definitely a person that I look up to. Not only has he stayed real with the people he grew up with, he's not only a basketball player. Did you know? He has 10% on Bliss Pizza, and he bought that 10% for $500,000, and that $500,000 is worth like I don't know how many millions right now. So I'm thinking, how smart is it for a guy to go into fame at 18 years old? Doesn't let fame mess him up. He's been 16, 17 years in the league, doesn't get hurt, doesn't let anything around him
That
distract
dude's
him.
an alien. Fuck that.
He hasn't had a dad figure like that. He's a freaking wonderful dad. He never knew what a man was. He's a cool man. I mean, but there's so many stuff. But I mean, The Rock is another guy that I look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, I like when he puts that eyebrow up. I mean, he was just one of my favorite wrestlers. But I mean, they thought he wasn't gonna be good in acting. He did it. He faced that fear, and now he's one of the best paid actors. I mean, there's a lot of people, man. I mean, that I have as mentors, but I feel like if I have to give you mentors that nobody knows of, but they were my biggest mentors, is my mother and my father.
I knew it was coming. I know you because I know your pops. And
It's
your
my
pops
mother
is
and
cool.
my father.
Yeah.
And my relationship with my father is hard to explain because we've been through it. He was a good father. He was always a provider. I didn't spend as much time as I wanted with him. He spent the most time he could, but I understood that he was in the military. He had a job to do. So, I mean, the reason both of them are mentors to me is because they were both grinders. And they always saw something in me, even though I didn't see it in myself. My father was a little bit tougher, so that's why I butt heads with him a little bit. But that still doesn't change the fact that he was right, The reason that they're great mentors for me because no matter how late they went to work or no matter how messed up they were going to wake up the next day to work to provide and give a plate of food to the table for their kids. And there's no doubt in my mind that my mom and my dad ever did that. Once my dad went to Iraq on his first trip with the military, he would call me and he would talk to me straight up. So he would put a lot of faith in me, and he believed that everything I do should be right. He didn't expect less from me, So when I would do stuff, I wanted him to kind of applaud me, but he didn't. But he's like, I don't expect less from you, So I always have in my mind, I have this shit has to go through. It has to go through. Every time I do something, you cannot tell me it can't be done. It's just I wasn't raised that way. He never let me think that way. So in my mind, he's like, this thing has to go through because I'm gonna tell. Even though I don't do stuff to make him feel better or anything, I'm still gonna go back and look. This went through. He'll tell me the same thing. That's what I expected. My mom kind of was the softer side, and my mom is definitely my motivation every day. My dad is that dude that I talk to every day, and it's crazy because we don't even argue sometimes, but I'm still gonna go back to him because he gives me so much advice. But my mom is
man. He has experience.
My mom is my motivation.
Yeah.
Because and I don't want to get all sentimental or anything in here, but to be on 10th grade and have a mother come tell you she has stage 4 cancer, and for her to wake up every day and work a job every single day, it doesn't matter if she was sick or not. She still went to work. And for me to see my mother in her deathbed and she was still worrying about me and my brothers in her deathbed. Like that was the biggest thing, bro. Like, how is she dying, but she's still worrying about us? So that's what motivates me every day. We have to want to be successful as bad as she wanted to stay up for her kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that memory, I will never lose that memory in my mind. I will never lose that. And that's why I just can't quit. It's not in my DNA. It has never been in my DNA. I can't say I can't, bro. I saw it. I lived it. It has been a struggle and it has been hard. And I would just remember there's another thing in my mind that I always remember. I just posted something about that the other day. There was one time that my father went through a hard divorce, and it wasn't with my mother. He was with somebody else, but he hit rock bottom, and we were sleeping in a bunk bed. It was hot, and we had mosquitoes and everything. He had to go back to his grandmother's house. My great grandmother, that was my great grandmother. They're old school. They don't believe in AC, nothing. So it's hot as heck. It's Puerto Rico. It's 90 something degrees, and man, I remember my little brother was crying. And he was like, "Oh, it's hot." And my dad got up and told me, "I'm going to get out of this. And the day that we do, I hope you remember this." And there was one time he had his house. We had AC and everything. For you to have a central AC in Puerto Rico is a big deal.
Mm.
And he was like, y'all remember that day we didn't have this? He's like, remember. So every time that I feel like I'm going to be a little bit of an asshole, or I feel like I deserve this, or this is mine, I go back to that moment that my father was waking up at 5 a.m. because he wanted to give us a house to where we can sleep and feel comfortable and we could take vacations down in Puerto Rico. And I remember about that moment, my mother was with her last breath on her lungs and she was thinking about, you guys are going to be okay. I love you. I remember about that. And that's literally what wakes me up every day and gets me to grind. And a lot of people see, whoa, but you're doing good. And I'm like, hey, what's this dude that just died on? The marathon continues.
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle. Like Nipsey Hussle would say, the marathon continues. So it's a marathon, bro. You can't stop. If you stop, the money stops. And if the money stops, your family won't eat. So, as long as I got my family and as long as I got that live picture in my mind, I'm not going to stop. And it gets hard, bro. It gets hard because it's 9 people I got to deal with. Nine employees, and not only 9 employees, but the clients that walk through the door, I got to deal with them too. And sometimes it gets hard, but that's when I get back to that moment, Sometimes the worst moments in your life become your biggest blessings. And every time that something happens to me, I remember about that time that I was taking a knee and not knowing what was going to happen. So that's what keeps me going, and I don't tell that to too many people, but this year is the year that I'm really gonna share that story with the world, because I feel like I've been quiet way too long, and I feel like that's what's gonna show people like, damn, this dude really went through all this, and it happened, and I'm here.
Yeah, so that's fucking phenomenal, dude. Actually, in that story that you have right there, because right now you're in a position you're in a position right now that you need to build a brand, and that story right there is an amazing fucking way to build your brand, because there's so much background to you that people just don't know. And this is why I'm really thankful that you came here, because this is personally stuff that I didn't know, right? And when you're talking about your mom, thank you for choking me up. I was actually getting choked up because I'm a sentimental motherfucker, so I get choked up easily. But that was powerful, dude. The fact that you have that one memory that always comes back to you in times of heartache, and in times where you're just down and you always have to deal with it. So it's fucking amazing.
Like my boy E.T. said, E.T. the
motivational speaker.
The motivational speaker. He said, pain is temporary. It may last a day, it might last a week, it might last even a year, but eventually it would go away. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem with today's society. Once it hurts, or once you see that you're in a situation, you don't want to take self-responsibility. And I feel like in order for you to grow, no matter what the situation goes, you have to be accountable for what you do. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm far beyond perfect. And I'm not saying I'm a great guy. I've actually had a lot of failures. But one thing I do, I hold myself accountable of all the decisions that I take. A lot of people was like, oh, no, because he did that. Whatever you did, you have to take responsibility for that. Nobody put a gun to your head to tell you to do it, So once you do that, you'll become not only is it going to make you a better person, but it's going to help you grow. Your business is going to grow. Whatever you're doing is going to grow. And people don't get hurt neither, People around you, even though it might not be the best decision, people is going to respect you because you're holding yourself accountable,
100%. Do you have any thoughts, any questions that you want to throw off this, man?
No real questions.
Okay. Well, so we've been going on for about an hour and 40 minutes. It's probably been the longest podcast that we've done, honestly. So did it feel like an hour and 40 minutes?
Nah, man. I mean, it might not feel for me, because if you give me a place to talk, I'll talk all day.
I love it. I fucking love it. Man, I'm here.
Well, I was gonna just throw the mic to you, Fernando. Is there anything that you want to just talk about? Is there anything specific? Oh shit.
Man, all that I try to talk about, one of the things that I'm trying to do this year is just try to feed as much knowledge as I can into people. And, as I grow, I'm going to have to charge for different things, because this is what I do. You know, I mean, you love what you do, but you can't. You know, sometimes you have to charge. So anybody that wants to take advantage, take care of it now. You know, like I want to build a group to where, you know, young guys can grow together. You know, so we can not only help the community but help people in general and become men of good. You know, you're always gonna party, you're always gonna do your crazy things, but don't get away from what the right thing is to do. You know, you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because somebody's gonna pat you in the back and tell you. I don't want that in my circle. I want men that do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. So, I mean, if you want to grow, man, if you want to network or if you want to do anything, man, you know, I'm all for it, man. Like, you know, I want to sit down. And it's like coming here. If I come here, it's because I believe in this movement. I believe because you want to grow. And, you know, no matter what you do, as long as you put hard work into it, it will grow. So that's exactly why you guys were the first of the year that I've actually came to talk to. So this is the year for not only me to grow, but to grow with other people. And like, you know, so let's network. Let's try to work with each other. And let's try to lift other people so they could do the same thing for others. And that way we could really make an impact and a change.
God dang, if I couldn't agree more with that. Fernando, thank you so much for coming by, man. Like I said, we're going to be doing another one of these about a week and a half prior to your show, so we can really dive deep into your show and go into all that good stuff. But other than that, man, like I said, we're really thankful for you to actually come here and take your time, because I know you're obviously a busy guy, so we're really thankful. I hope to all the viewers that watch this, because this has been a very special podcast, and I feel like all the podcasts are very special, but this one really has been special. I've never piqued your mind. I've never gone through what goes through your mind, and I personally didn't know a lot of this stuff about you, right? So I think this is dope. I think this is really gonna blow up. I'm looking forward to doing business with you, man, because I know that, I mean, the direction that you're heading is you're gonna be blowing up. Like I said, next 10 years you're gonna be an absolutely different person. You're gonna be a fucking monster. I mean, you're already a monster, but you're gonna be huge. I just want you to fucking know that, because I when I talk to people, I see it in people. Like my friend Ahmad, he's a rapper, and I see the hustle in him. I'm like, listen, dude, it's not a matter of if, but when.
That's definitely another move too, getting in the music industry. You know, I love music as well, so not only do I want to cut barbers, but you know, you never know. You might see some new things, promotions and music or something like that. Man, I got a lot of ideas, so you know, stay tuned for whatever is coming on.
That's dope. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned in, we really do appreciate you for tuning in. I know this has certainly been a great experience for Jesus and I, and I'm sure, I think that you might have enjoyed yourself on this little podcast that we did. So for everybody watching, thank you for watching. Anybody who's going to be watching, look out for clips. We're going to link everything, Fernando's Booksy, the everything. We're gonna do all that stuff. We're gonna put it in the description below. So if you want to get yourself a clean fucking fade, you'll be able to go ahead and get your book that on Booksy. That's where you're at, right?
Yeah,
just Booksy.
Booksy. But if it gets hard, like, you could usually text me and I'll send you the link.
Or just get in contact with you. Okay, perfect. Other than that, guys, I hope you really enjoyed. Don't remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Please turn the notifications on so when we're doing a crazy live podcast like this with a fucking amazing guest. So other than that, guys, hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Anything else you want to say before you leave, man?
I'm good. It was a great experience. Thank you for having me. And
you of course. Anytime you're welcome to come. I just want to quickly say, oh shit, I flexed all the way up. Just want to quickly say, if you're going to his expo, definitely buy online. It's cheaper there as opposed to going in person. The link's in the description. If you want, we'll go there. I'm going for sure. You going, Randy? All right, sounds good. Yeah, but I put a link in it. Buy tickets on the website. Again, cheaper to buy online.
Yeah.
And
Next Expo will be an annual thing, so you might as well take advantage of it now, because the people that you might meet now, you might not be able to be up close with them in the next few years. That's what happened in this big expo. Once you got 5,000, 10,000 people, it's hard for you to get to these people, to talk to them person to person. So the good thing that I'm bringing to the city, you're able to see these people face to face, and you're able to be closer. You're able to make a bigger impact. So don't wait until it's too late for you to do something, you know?
First step is always the most important step, and you need to fucking take it as soon as you can fucking take it. So I think that's something that you would agree with, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and close on that note. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Look out for the clips. Bye.